Howdy, I'm Lee Wilson, and this is TGO Wyoming, on the move. And today's vlog is a little bit different from previous ones. This is going to be more kind of an insight into me and my past and who I am and who I was. So, to start off, today I had a fairly good work day, right? I had a lot of cleaning to do, and I was able to just put on some music and go at it, right? So, on my phone, I've got a whole bunch of MP3s, and I hadn't even thought about these for forever, right? And I discovered them when I was trying to get some audio off of my phone through my micro SD card that I had tried with the Rode Video Mic, or the Rode SmartLav Plus. And I was like, holy smokes, I've got a lot of music on here, and it's a bunch of old music, stuff that I haven't listened to in a long time. So today I decided to kind of kick through it, and I started off my day with a little bit of Opeth, and then I moved to listening to some Cake, and then I listened to a little Slightly Stoopid, and I ended up with one of my favorite albums, and I listened to the entire album all the way through, and that is Life Won't Wait by Rancid. Yeah, you wouldn't think to look at me now, but back in the day, back in my youth, when I was, 17 to 22, I was a pretty hardcore punk rocker. I mean, I played in a punk rock band called Drawing Dead, and we played a few shows and had a lot of fun, and the band broke up, and some of the bandmates moved on to some really awesome things. Actually, the guy that put the whole band together moved on to being in a phenomenal band run by my buddy Randy, and I mean, they've toured across the country and released multiple albums, so it's really, really cool. They were Deathbed Repentance, and then they ran into another band that had issues with the name and whatnot, and so now they're Black Market Syndicate, still making really good music, and Randy is just an amazing musician. And I actually got to help out being the guitar tech and just the general equipment technician and hauling his kit around during the production of his first album, so it was pretty cool. I mean, lots of good times and good stories, but kind of what brings me back to this is that I had a lot of reminiscing, a lot of thinking about the good old days. I mean, I went and saw Rancid in Houston. I was 21 years old. Yep, I was 21 years old, and Randy and I and a few other friends went and saw Rancid at Warehouse Live in downtown Houston. And you talk about one of the best shows I've ever seen. Those guys can put on an amazing show, and it's a fairly large venue. And we were 3 rows back from the stage, and when they came on stage, the crowd crunch was just unbelievable. I mean, I was 6 foot tall and 200 pounds at that time, and I was lifted off my feet. It was wild. It was the damnedest thing I'd ever experienced at a show, and I'd been to a lot of shows at that point. And the circle pit there was just, man, it was unbelievable. It was one of the best pits I've ever seen. I kind of stayed at the fringes of it, but oh man, just so much pointy hair and bullet bracelets and belts and leather and stomping mad punks. It was fantastic. And those guys, Rancid, they're amazing guys. They're good musicians, and they're good people, right? So one of the insights, one of the things that happened during the show is apparently some gal who was at the show had a family emergency, and her family had called the venue, called Warehouse Live, and it was right towards the end of a song, and forgive me, I don't remember what song they were playing at that point, but you see a stagehand run out and start talking to him, and the song ends, literally a couple of chords later, and everyone's like, yeah, yeah, and they're like, hey, be quiet, and everyone's, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, no, seriously, be quiet. This is important. And the gal's name was Crystal. And he's like, is there a Crystal so-and-so in the audience? Crystal, are you here? And this gal raises her hand. And he looks down to this 400-pound, big bouncer. Oh, my God, this dude was a titan. And he's like, hey, get her up here. So the bouncer rolls over, kind of pushes his way through the crowds, grabs her, sets her up on top of his shoulders, and pushes back up to the front of the stage, or to the stage, lifts her up there, and she gets down and goes kind of around And sorry, parking here. Ugh. And as she's being escorted to, her phone call, the family emergency phone call, they start, everybody on stage yells, "This one's for you, Crystal!" And they just burst out into Ruby Soho. It was such a cool moment from such cool guys that were, I've seen other bands that any interruption from stagehand or audience or anything, and they just lose it. They literally lose their minds and go crazy. So this was really cool to see these guys react this way. Now we're going to take a break here because I'm going to run in and grab some sushi. I'll be right back. And through the miracle of editing, I'm back. Super quick, right? Yeah. Got some pad thai and some sushi. It's date night with the wife, so heck yeah. But back to Rancid, right? And all the reminiscing. Well, I'm going to go into first. Life Won't Wait is by far my favorite Rancid album. It is very ska reggae inspired, and unfortunately it's probably their least popular album, and I just don't think people appreciate it nearly enough because it's just, song to song, it's one of the rare albums I can listen to front to back, straight through, every single song. I'm going to listen to it. There are a few that I like less than others, but there's not a single song on that album that I'm like, skip this. No, it's just solid, and it's awesome, and it's one of my favorites. And it being one of my favorites for over a decade now, it's an album that I've listened to a lot. So there's a lot of emotional attachment to it. There's a lot of memories that get brought up with that, and kind of makes you think about life and where you've been and what I've done in the last 10 years and the person that I've become and the person that I was back then, because I'm a very different individual now than I was 10 years ago. I don't stay up all night anymore. I still stay up too late, but that's because I'm working, not because I'm hanging out with friends or playing Xbox. I don't smoke a pack of cigarettes a day anymore. I don't go hoon around for fun and drag race down FM 1960. There's so much that's changed. So many responsibilities that I didn't have when I was young that I have now. And it's not a bad thing. I don't mind the responsibility. In fact, some ways I would really be upset if I acted the same now at 31 as I did when I was 21. I just don't think that would be healthy and good, And there's, a lot of things I would still like to do. I miss going to shows. I really do. I miss seeing live music, good live music. But, at this point in Casper, there really isn't much for the live music scene. It's just not great for it. But it is what it is. Ooh, there's the new wine and spirits shop called the Urban Bottle down here. Nifty. Casper's doing some pretty cool restoration or downtown renovation projects, since there's some pretty awesome stuff, including a new pizzeria. It's really boosting up the downtown. I like it. But back to being nostalgic and listening to good music, said nobody expected me to be a punk. I really used to really enjoy, I still really enjoy reggae and ska, both second and third wave ska, and first wave ska too. Original ska. But, there's things you do in life, and you eventually grow up, hopefully. And I try not to reminisce, or I try not to lament the passing of my youth, right? Because I'm really grateful that I got to have those experiences and have that kind of carefree and fun attitude for such a long time before the crushing weight of the world and responsibility and basically waking up to life. It's cool. I got to do those things. I got to go to shows and stay out all night and go eat at 24-hour restaurants. Katz's Deli downtown. When you could afford to just be like, it's 3 a.m, I'm hungry. Okay, let's drive 45 minutes to downtown Houston to eat at Katz's Deli. These are things that I had fun with. And it all shifted and changed when I moved away from Houston. I moved up to Amarillo, and that was really a big turning point. Kind of changed the kind of people I was hanging out with, and kind of, I guess, went back to the more core me. Was able to kind of find who I was. It's those developing years, because I don't think you really solidify into who you actually are until you're probably in your mid-20s, to be realistic. I don't think so. I don't think you can really figure it out young. And some people do, but I think most people are still kind of deciding who they're going to be and who they are, when they're through their teens and into their mid-20s. So it was kind of a good day to throw back, rehash some good times, think about that concert, think about all the times driving around Houston with my buddies, and just generally being kids. We never did anything destructive. We never really did anything mean. We just hung out. We'd go down, there's a fountain downtown that we'd go hang out, go to the 24-hour Starbucks down by the Galleria Mall. I mean, good times, mischievous, but not really mischievous. I mean, we never did anything destructive. So, fun times, good friends, wouldn't trade them for the world, but I'm glad I'm not still living like that. I'm glad I'm not still living that life. So, you guys have a little more insight into me, the kind of person that I was growing up. There's some more stories I might tell them later. Got some more in-depth and detailed stories and major life events that I think might help you guys, help somebody, maybe not everybody, but give them some insight and maybe cope with some stressors, because I've had some interesting events in life. But yeah, this is an exceptionally long On the Move, and I really highly doubt that anybody's made it to this point. So if you have, kudos to you, because this is just a lot of ranting and rambling and reminiscing. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you found this episode to be entertaining. It's certainly not educational, but entertaining at least is what I'm going for here. So, and if you have, let me know in the comments below. And if you are a Rancid and or punk rock fan, go ahead and let me know. That's at least proof that you actually made it through all 12 odd minutes, I bet it's going to be, of this crazy video. So, and I do appreciate everybody watching. Remember to like, share, and comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great videos. And as always, stay safe, shoot straight, and I'll see y'all next time.
Gotta go out, what a waste